channel.
Police are investigating an explosion at a suburban home in North Austin.
Part of the investigation is what was the cause of the explosion. What type of a device may it have been?
For neighbors, this is nothing short of stunning.
It seemed like a very friendly, safe neighborhood 24 years ago, and it was one of the major reasons I chose to move into this neighborhood.
Police started getting calls about a loud explosion and a possible victim right before 7 Friday morning.
He collapsed right there.
So about 3 feet in front of his front door.
About 3 feet in front of his front door.
Anthony Stefan House was bleeding from his face, had shrapnel in his chest, and both of his hands were nearly blown off.
Was the victim able to tell you anything?
No, he wasn't even responding to his name. His eyes were open, but he looked glazed over.
Officers found a man who was badly hurt.
APD units arrived on scene, and again, it was apparent that we had an explosive incident that had occurred.
We'll check back with you. Now to breaking developments out of Austin, Texas, where authorities believe 3 explosions just in the past week and a half are all related.
We are following breaking news in East Austin. 1 person is dead and another injured after a package exploded at a home this morning. KVU's Jenny Lee joins us live from the scene with what we know right now.
Lots of people are voicing their concerns tonight in Austin after deadly explosions that have made national headlines.
Today, someone else did the same thing this morning in East Austin. Picked up a package, it exploded in the house. It killed a 17-year-old young man.
A woman in her 70s brought in a package found outside her home and was seriously hurt when it went off.
Based on evidence that we have at this scene, as well as at the other 2 scenes where we've had these explosions, this evidence makes us believe that these incidents are related.
For a possible serial bomber in Austin, Texas.
Desperately chasing a suspected serial bomber.
Watch out for an apparent bomber on the loose.
This is the home where the first bombing occurred back on March 2nd. You can see the impact, the power ripping right through this wall, blowing out the door.
Gail, good morning. So this is where Mr. House was injured in that explosion. You can see the damage there. The door is boarded up. It's unclear if it was blown out. And neighbors told us they actually found shrapnel in this wall.
An honor student with a bright future. His musical talent, undeniable.
A full and fruitful life. That's what Drayland Mason was planning to live. But within seconds, that dream, that young man was taken.
His death felt community-wide as the mysteries of 3 package explosions continues to unfold.
This is an established family. This whole neighborhood is an established neighborhood. Dre is like the 4th generation.
Neighbors, this is nothing short of stunning.
It seemed like a very friendly, safe neighborhood 24 years ago, and it was one of the major reasons I chose to move into this neighborhood.
He had made his applications to colleges. Every school that he applied to accepted him. And he had decided that he wanted to go to Howard.
This is me here, and all of my black belts are listed here, and you see Drayland's name right here, Drayland Mason.
Williams was Mason's martial arts teacher for more than 10 years.
Charismatic kid, full of energy and bubbly and ready to learn.
He says the news of Mason's death was a shock.
Right now you can tell I'm still full with emotions. He was one of the kids that I could call my own.
And now he's trying to figure out how to cope.
You know, his life was cut too short, so I'm really distraught. And when I talk about it, it's kind of hard for me to fester what happened to him.
A feeling Charles Phillips knows well.
It was just really hard. I'm still kind of numb and in shock.
Phillips is the coordinator of Soul Tree Collective and played in bands with Mason.
He was insanely talented.
He was, at 17, he was a fixture in this arts community. He's played in half the venues of the city.
Patrick Slevin is the director of Austin Sound Waves, a program through the Hispanic Alliance, and says Mason was a leader there too.
It's just so amazing, you know, getting calls from around the country of musicians, artists, and just people that, you know, were touched by him.
For the past 2 days, Slevin says the group has been gathering to grieve.
Just everyone has stories about him, a lot of humor, a lot of light.
He was the kind of kid that he lit the room up everywhere he went.
And a kid who everyone he touched says they wish that light could continue to shine.
Now, John, the police have not said there's a relationship between any of the victims of these bombings. However, the Washington Post is reporting this morning that the stepfather of one of the victims is good friends with the grandfather of another victim. That's really the only connection that we've seen reported so far.
All right, David, everyone on
It's the question everyone's asking.
Are you randomly picking people, or do you have a vendetta against them, or what is it?
Friends of the Mason family trying to make sense of the package bombs left on 3 different porches.
This is tragic. This is sad. It's ridiculous.
Tuesday, the Austin police chief admitting they had no idea until Monday the first explosion was part of a larger plan. They had just raided a home a few doors down from where Anthony House lived. It was full of drugs and cash. Investigators' theory, someone left the package on the wrong doorstep as retaliation.
Anthony House built our first website in this office 10 years ago. His stepfather is Dr. Freddie Dixon, who's my philosophy professor in college.
Nelson Linder, president of the Austin chapter of the NAACP, wishes he would have started spreading messages a lot sooner on social media, telling people to stay away from questionable deliveries.
We didn't say anything based on what APD said. I regret not doing that, because you have to elevate these situations, because let's face it, people picked up packages. Had they known that we got a message out, that probably could have been avoided.
Linder says at least 2 of the families who've lost loved ones are prominent in the black community.
It's kind of odd and eerie when you think about those kind of connections.
For now, he's doing his part by telling people to pay attention.
We're going to
Hey, good morning, George. Federal investigators have been here through the night. Authorities say these packages were not delivered by mail, but instead left there by a suspect they are now desperately trying to track down.
And from what I'm told, predominantly Hispanic are telling me they are completely in shock and just scared, saying this could have happened to anyone here in this neighborhood. But again, as you can see, far off down there, about a block or so away, is where police are staged. And you can also see the FBI. They just arrived here on scene to investigate what is going on here. At this point, we don't know who is behind this. We do know that the first explosion happened on March the 2nd, where a man died there. And the last 2, as you mentioned, happened today.
Myra, thank you for the update from there.
You know, in the family of the kid, because his life was just beginning. You know, the FBI has been around there, but I said maybe they're gathering all the evidence, and we're not there hands-on, so we really don't know.
We know that the 2 people who were killed in these bombings, 17-year-old Draylon Mason and 39-year-old Anthony House, do have a connection through their families. And the local NAACP branch says this is not a coincidence. Joining me now is Nelson Linder, the president of the Austin NAACP. Mr. Linder, thank you very much for being here, and our sympathies to your community, because I know that you are grieving tonight.
The doctor, Dr. Mason, he and Freddie Dixon are friends, so the families know each other way back from a business standpoint and a civil rights standpoint in this community. They were very prominent people. So Draylen Mason, the kid who was killed, those families know each other very well, and that's the primary connection, is that they know each other. They lived in East Austin, they worked in East Austin, so they're very, very important people in our community.
So tell me why you believe that the package that blew up at Esperanza Herrera's home was not intended for her. You think it was intended for another member of this family?
Well, let me just say this. The first two bombings, in my opinion, they targeted African Americans. We're very clear about that, who had a connection. And these terrorists, whoever they are, these bombers, seem to have a lot of information about family connections. The third bombing, Hispanic female, it seems like that was not part of that pattern. And we've heard a lot of statements that I can't confirm publicly by sources who called us, who seem to think that somehow this bomb was misplaced and therefore had unintended consequences.
Devices also had some sort of a safety switch, meaning the bomber could handle the packages without detonating them.
The fact that they have been able to not only build these bombs, but then travel with them and deploy them to the target locations without them exploding shows that they do have a certain level of sophistication.
Oh, Bill, right now, police in Austin briefing reporters on the investigation. So far, police say there is no obvious family connections or other ties between the three victims. Now, when it comes to a motive, there are two theories being investigated. One is that the explosions were racially motivated. All three victims are minorities, two of them African Americans, the other Latino. The other theory is that the explosions are somehow drug-related. The other theory is that the explosions are somehow drug-related.
Now the search is on to find out who is doing this, with Governor Greg Abbott announcing that the Texas Department of Public Safety is offering a $15,000 reward. Governor Greg Abbott announcing that the Texas Department of Public Safety is offering a $15,000 reward.
The reward for any information leading to an arrest in this case, now up to $65,000.
YouTube channel. Like and subscribe to the Shalom ENT YouTube channel.